Hey guys, welcome to the Hidden Heroes Talk Show with Ariel and Aaron. Today's guest speaker is Lena Clark calling in from Atlanta. Lena, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Before we get started, will you just give us a little bit of background about yourself? Where are you from? What do you do? Your hobbies? Let's get to know you.
Absolutely. I'm actually originally from Florida. I came back to Atlanta to attend school. My family's from Atlanta, and I was married to a wonderful husband who started a business called Care Oasis. And that business basically was helping individuals that were diagnosed with mental illness such as schizophrenia. And I lost my husband to suicide 8 years ago. So I decided to actually work with individuals with the same illness and to destigmatize mental illness because it's such a taboo. And so I've made it's a passion of mine, and my mission is to destigmatize mental illness. Recently wrote a book called An Amazing Mind, which was published in October of last year. So right now I'm going and doing different library tours throughout the city of Atlanta, doing forums and within the community, getting the message out there.
I'm like speechless.
Nice.
I'm so sorry to hear all that. Lena, I am shocked to hear that you have taken something that was a huge tragedy. Many people would have hidden under a rock by now. And not only are you being an advocate about it, you wrote a book and you're trying to help other people?
I did, yes. I wrote a book, and it's available on Amazon.com as well as my website, which is www.amazingmindministries.org. So it is available through there, as well as, or they can contact me on my email, which is amazingmindministries@yahoo.com. So, my mission is to get out there and tell the public, to show the world that it's okay to talk about it, because, again, it's a taboo, and that, no, most people sweep it under the rug. Most families, they don't want to discuss it, and I found that out with my husband after he died. It was on his mother's side. His mother was a pastor, and she was like, well, didn't you know? My question was no. My answer was no. So then his grandmother was also institutionalized, and it was a generational thing. So I made it a mission. No, I said the buck stops here, because we had 2 children. At the time, they were just 5 and 6. Now they're in middle school. So, one day they're going to grow up and get married and have children, and I did not want that to continue, a continuing cycle.
Now, is this one particular type of mental illness, or are you working with all, or are you just focusing, pinpointing one specifically?
All. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's over 100 diagnoses regarding mental illness. So, schizophrenia is what my husband was diagnosed with. So, again, bipolar, schizoaffective disorders, depression, anger issues, everything.
Nice. And so your book is just grounded, it's focused on all, not just one. Amazing Minds isn't pinpointed on one illness either.
No, it's not. No, it covers all of the anything that's relating to mental illness, to your mind. And it talks about your mind. Your mind controls your body, and it's okay to talk about it. So, a lot of people, because of the taboo that's connected, as soon as you tell someone, a loved one, your mate or whoever it is that you feel you can trust, as soon as you feel, you go to them, most people say, oh, you're crazy. And that is the that I've known people to say. That's what most people, judge them by. So it's okay. And so the forums that I host here, it's titled, What's on Your Mind? Let's Talk.
You host support groups?
I have discussions. There are forums in the community in Atlanta, different locations every month. So that's what I do here. And I will be launching a radio talk show on the 19th of April, also titled What's on Your Mind? Let's Talk. And that will be aired monthly.
Awesome. And so how can people connect with you? How can viewers and people who want to come to the forum, how can where do they go to find the dates and the times of the forums?
Absolutely. The list is on the website. They can find a list of events on there, and the whole schedule is on there. It's www.amazingmindministries.org.
Awesome.
Lena, do you have a quote or an affirmation that helped you get through this whole process that you'd be willing to share with us?
Well, what I normally go by is, know who you are as an individual. So many of us, because of what we're faced up against today in society with social media, competition, everybody wants to be like someone else. But, and that can be, straining in itself, competing and with no matter who it is. So a lot of people just don't have the strength to basically understand themselves or even know who they are. So if you know who you are as an individual, then, you know, life can be much easier.
And did you find that you didn't know who you were? Where did it, I'm going to back up a little bit. Where did it come from? Not just your husband, but when were you just like, okay, I need to know who I am?
Right. And then knowing who I was, actually, I didn't know who my husband was. We all think we know the person we marry or the person we're in a relationship, even our loved ones. We think we know them, but we don't. So, I mean, we were married for over 10 years. So that was a hidden, you know, something he hid from me. He was in denial, and so many people are. So, you know, and so I use that by saying, know who you are. Even myself, I have to examine it every day and look at the mirror and say, okay, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Lena, what advice would you give to others who have experienced this type of trauma as far as healing or getting over it?
I would say seek, you know, professional advice from a counselor, you know, whether in your school, go to your local school counselor or a professional therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, or even your local hospitals or a loved one that you can trust. A lot of people don't want to reach out to their family members because they feel their family members will judge them and they know them so well. So find someone that you really, really can trust, someone that you feel comfortable with, and, you know, just continue to show love and support. Love and caring is the key.
I agree. Love is always the answer. And I love how you said show love and support. I mean, if we let people know that we cared and that nothing else is important than loving a person, then I think we could raise or lower the stigma around talking about mental illness. Absolutely. Or talking about being depressed or feeling suicidal, and it wouldn't be so like this big black hole or, oh my gosh, you can't talk about that thing. Mm-hmm. But it's there. It's very much there. And it's sad until it hits home that we don't really do much about it. You know?
Exactly. And everyone has some form of mental illness, whether it's depression, whether you don't want to wake up in the morning, you have a bad day. That's a part of your mind.
True. True. Lena, we have run out of time. Is there anything else you want to add in before we have to wrap up here?
Well, again, I just want each and every one to kind of reach out to someone that you know, show more love, show concern. If someone says, okay, I'm not feeling well, they don't want to answer the phone, a lot of times it's not personal. It could be something they're going through. And so I would say just continue to reach out, even if it's someone that's having a bad day and they take something out on you, or you say, okay, that person has an attitude. That may not be the case. A lot of times, again, they don't know who they are. They're struggling. So I always say just take the time to understand, even if it's helping one individual.
I definitely agree. Everybody listening in, this is Hidden Heroes with Ariel and Aaron. Today's guest speaker has been Lena Clark. Go connect with her at www.amazingmindministries.org. Thank you, everybody, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, too. Bye-bye.